a lot of chaos going on here, a lot of people trying to evacuate all at one time. It was tossed to the side immediately, but with that means 5% across the board will be cut in McDowell County from everybody that receives funding from the budget for 2013-2014. 4 people have been taken to the hospital after an accident on Route 460 in Mercer County. Many people have heard about FEMA, but not many people have actually seen FEMA in action. Yeah, guys, it's been a lot of tests for these drivers today on Route 460 when they were detoured from I-77. 23-year-old James Green is being charged with first-degree murder. He saw Raleigh County Magistrate Judge Steve Massey via video conference from Southern Regional Jail last night. Well, it seems like there was miscommunication between the county commission and the public. That 9% tax increase was only a 0.9% tax increase. Thank you, Kevin. With that wonderful weather today, a lot of you probably got a chance to do some spring cleaning, and community members across the area gathered their garden tools and came out to clean up the street when a car came off of Cumberland Road and launched him all the way back to this washing machine right here. But the situation could have been a whole lot worse. Many of you are giving us your opinions on our Facebook page, and here's what some of you had to say. They'll be starting this hub tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. Come to the convention center. You'll be able to talk to FEMA agents, find out if you're eligible for some benefits from FEMA, and see how they can help you out from that storm damage in June. Bitterly cold outside, not like it was about that 5 o'clock hour. It was probably in the 40s, and now we're looking probably more close to freezing. Other neighbors wish not to go on camera, but they say they try to get the kids out of the house and away from Green and Smallwood. And when I talked to Principal Reed, he says that he wasn't aware of the softball video and that he's not allowed to discuss Bradley's suspension. Another rock slide is preventing traffic from flowing on a major roadway.
My husband is serving a life sentence because of the injury to his brain.
Judith's husband, Carl Fletcher, worked for years as a master electrician and was a very active person, but she says that now he's barely even able to play with the grandkids after the beating he sustained on July 20th.
If we go out to eat, I have to help him cut his food up. You know, it's devastated the whole family, and it's horrible.
The 2 men who beat Fletcher were sentenced today by Judge Abelhausen. Patrick Belcher received 2 to 10 years in a penitentiary for malicious wounding, and Angus Moody received 2 to 8 years in a penitentiary for unlawful assault and attempt to commit a felony.
They should have spent a lot longer than what they got.
Witnesses say it happened right here at the corner of Mercer and 8th Street in Princeton. Moody and Belcher were standing in the middle of the road there. That's when the victim, who was driving, got in a verbal altercation with the 2. That's when Belcher and Moody beat the victim violently, and he was then needed to be rushed to the hospital.
It was extremely severe, very, very bad. Mr. Fletcher's lucky to be alive.
What was that like to just see them there, the people that did this to your husband?
It really hurt. I mean, to see them sitting there with the smug look on their faces like they didn't do nothing. And then to know that Carl's at home and he can't do nothing. I mean, seriously, he can't do it. And I just want to take and wring their necks.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Don't stop! Don't stop!
I've been driving for 18 years, and this is the first time I've ever been hung up in weather.
Multiple inches of snow fell across the 2 Virginias Thursday afternoon that has drivers stuck and snowed in on the sides of the road.
They're treacherous. There's people stuck everywhere, big trucks, 4-wheelers. It's mayhem out here.
Nathan Taylor says that it took him more than 5 hours to go from the toll booth in Gent to Bluefield. For drivers like Taylor that are paid to get to their locations on time, weather like this makes their jobs a lot more difficult.
It makes it real rough. We out here trying to make a living. Of course, everybody else has got to be out here too. It makes it real rough, trying to get loaded and unloaded.
But when cars and big trucks are in the way, it potentially makes a life-saving process a bit more difficult for EMS workers.
Larger wreckers have to be called in, and then we actually have to find alternate roads to get to the call or get the patient to the hospital. Usually a 911 call takes about an hour to process, to get to the scene, get the patient loaded, and get the patient to the hospital. It's almost doubling the length of a normal 911 call.
Experienced drivers say that the roads are some of the worst they've seen, and Fitzwater says to just stay home.
The quickness and the amount of snow we've got, it ranks up there with probably one of the worst snows in the few years I've worked here.
This is probably some of the worst I've had to deal with. They were calling for this, and it just hit all of a sudden. It's been bad.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, I grew up with the boy most of my life. You know, went to school with him, hung out with him all the time. I just didn't know what to think when I first heard about it.
He says accused killer James Green was an ordinary kid who liked to hang out and play football. Little did Covey know, years later, his old friend would be arrested for the murder of his 2-year-old stepson, Graydon Morgan.
He's a pretty good dude, you know. I mean, I never expected anything. You never know.
Green was arrested along with his wife, 27-year-old Brandy Smallwood, who is charged with child neglect resulting in death. Police say the original call came in that the toddler fell from the window of the couple's mobile home. But police say evidence suggests that Graydon met a violent...
The child had sustained several injuries of a physical abuse type.
Police also say that Green was a known drug addict.
The two-year-olds were left alone with a known drug addict. There was evidence use in the home.
It's getting worse and worse. I mean, they're everywhere now. The pharmaceutical drugs, everywhere you look.
Boots were on the ground Monday in Raleigh County as FEMA representatives were in town asking residents what damages they received from the June 29th windstorm.
FEMA tries to make it a person-to-person effort as well, and some people have difficulty with the telephone, don't think that's friendly enough. It's really important if someone knocks on your door and says, we'd like to help you.
It was really nice, and I hope that they be able to assist people. People need it, you know. There was a lot of stuff that was lost during the storm.
It's a toll-free number you can call if you had damages.
That storm that hit in June is almost 3 months old now, and if you look around in parts of Raleigh and Fayette County, you can still see remnants of it laying around. And you have to remember also, FEMA just granted personal assistance last week, so if you tried to register weeks ago, you were denied. And FEMA says the biggest thing is to try and register one more time.
People had insurance, and they put in a claim, and maybe they've received a reimbursement. And they say, well, we're no need to register with FEMA. Please do, because we might be able to help out with some expenses not covered by the insurance. So there's all sorts of reasons to register. Let us determine if you're eligible or not. Don't disqualify yourself.
A lot of stuff that I lost, but the most important thing is that we're still alive, you know, but thank God that we just made it through it.
A local student is suspended after doing a popular viral dance. The student says that he was just trying to have fun, and he's not the only one that has done the dance at the school. It's the craze that is consuming the world, the Harlem Shake. Everyone is making one, from pro athletes to some countries' military, and even right here in our WVVA newsroom.
I don't know. But for one Tazewell High School student, it has gotten him suspended.
I was shocked when I was suspended. I thought maybe they would make me clean the tables or something, if that, but I was just trying to have fun. That was it.
Bradley was suspended for this video of the Harlem Shake. In the suspension notice, the school cites dancing on a cafeteria table and pelvic thrusting, which resulted in 3 days out of school suspension.
I wasn't trying to be perverted or nothing. I was just trying to have a little bit of fun, lighten the mood.
Bradley isn't the only one to do a Harlem Shake video at Tazewell High School. The softball team did their own Harlem Shake video on school property, and when I talked to Principal Reed, he says that he wasn't aware of the softball video and that he's not allowed to discuss Bradley's suspension.
She said she suspended me for the pelvic thrust, and getting on the table said it looked vulgar. I don't believe it did, but that's my personal opinion, and I wasn't trying to be vulgar at all.
This is the softball team's Harlem Shake video, and as you can see here, there are pelvic thrusts in this video as well. And when asked whether he regretted doing the dance or not, Bradley said there was only one thing he regretted.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to do it again. The only regret I have, maybe, is not getting it pre-approved. But other than that, I was trying to have fun. To sit here and say I regret the whole thing is saying that I believe they were right for suspending me. I don't regret it.